Hi everyone, it's Joe from the Wrong Channel, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the games from my favorite game series, and that is Castlevania. Now, my two favorite games from the series are the two that oftentimes get a lot of criticism because of their gameplay style. The first one is for the Super Nintendo, and I think you all know which one I'm talking about, Super Castlevania 4. Now, a lot of people, this is actually a lot of people's favorite game from the series. And why not? It's got immensely updated graphics and the superior soundtrack from the previous games in the series. I mean, they're great games, admittedly, but it's very easy to see that this game has definitely got the upgraded graphics and soundtrack. Now, one thing that a lot of people have a problem with this game is the whip. Now, just like in the previous games, you have sub-weapons, but a lot of people complain that they're basically redundant because of how powerful the whip is. And you know, I can see where they're coming from. It is a very powerful weapon, especially once it's upgraded. However, it just depends on how you look at it. Yes, it can be a very powerful weapon, but that's your choice. You don't have to upgrade it. You can keep playing the game with the very first version of the whip. But it's just like if you go to McDonald's. You can get a larger size meal, but you don't have to. So, would you get extremely pissed off if you go to McDonald's and they say, "Would you like to make that a large?" No! I don't! How dare you! No, you wouldn't, because you're a sane, rational person. So let's look at the game the same way, you know? Play the game. If you think having the upgraded whip is making the game too trivial and easy, don't upgrade the whip. Just jump over the item upgrades. Problem solved. Okay. Now, my next favorite. Actually, I'd say this one, it just really depends for me. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But most of the time, I really enjoy Castlevania Symphony of the Night. To me, this has the best soundtrack of any of the Castlevania games. And it's a very different playstyle from the previous games in the series. It's a lot like Super Metroid and the Metroid games. And that's why a lot of people call it Metroidvania. And you know what? I actually kind of like that kind of gameplay. But again, people find problems with it. They think that because of the experience-based leveling up system that the game offers, it just makes the game too easy because you can just stay in one area, farm experience, and level yourself up, making future enemies and bosses just way too easy. Again, that's more of an operator error. If you want to stay in a zone and farm and get experience and make yourself more powerful, that's your decision. But if you want the game to be more difficult, you can just keep going ahead and facing these monsters and bosses as intended in the gameplay. Like I said, you can't blame the game. That's more of an operator error if you think that it's getting too easy. And while the game does offer items and upgrades, you don't have to use them. If you think, this game's too easy now. This game's too easy. It's too easy! Use items that aren't as powerful. There's the challenge. And you can't fault a game because you think that it's too easy, especially when you have some sort of control over how difficult or easy it is. I mean, you can't take these games, which are phenomenal, amazing games, and fault them because you think that they're too easy. That's just a cop-out in my book. So I don't know where I was really going with this. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I've seen videos where people complain about them. You know, games are supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy them. They can be a challenge. You know, they can be like the original first few Castlevania games where they're extremely difficult, but that's more of a way to challenge yourself. You shouldn't be beating your head against the wall out of frustration because you're playing a video game. You're supposed to enjoy it, you know? Spend your leisure time enjoying these video games. Don't get frustrated and have an aneurysm. Don't get frustrated and have an aneurysm because you're stuck on the clock tower and falling down to your death all the time. Why? You can play games that you enjoy. It's okay. You should try it sometime. It's fun. Anyway, these two are my favorite from the series. I have deep admiration for the earlier games because they are challenging, you know, and if you want a challenge, definitely give them a whirl because they are challenging and you will probably bang your head against the wall several times. I'm Joe from The Wrong Channel. Have a great day.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets!
What is this?
A center for